promised to you. Okay, Joe is going to talk about some of our 11-cent annuity incentives, and even if you already have a contract, okay, and you're willing to take out maybe a second number or transfer your contract, you're going to make the same or more commission plus up to $1,000, okay, as soon as you turn in those apps. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I just want to highlight a couple of the incentive programs. Of course, we at the very top of the screen, we have a special incentive just for today's webinar attendees, basically $250 for the first annuity application that's submitted after today's call. So whether it's this afternoon, next week, that first annuity application that comes in, minimum $25,000 deposit, we're going to send out a check for $250 once that case goes paid. On the bottom portion of the screen, you'll see our ongoing indexed annuity incentive. This has been in place for about the last maybe 2 to 3 years. We constantly keep this program running because it's great for everybody. For every $250,000 of indexed annuity business that's written, you're going to earn an extra $500. You'll see at the bottom of the screen here, it goes all the way up to $1.5 million. At that level, you'd receive $3,000 additional compensation. That's above and beyond the commission you're already going to be receiving. Already above and beyond the competitive commission you're going to be receiving from the carrier. So you get that actually directly from our office as soon as those cases place. In addition to that, we have our cash for contracting platform. The way that this works is if you're already contracted with a carrier, we will match or beat that contract level. In addition to that, not only do you qualify for all the other incentive programs that we just went over, but you also receive an American Express gift card once you write a case with that carrier. So you'll say you're contracted with a separate annuity carrier, you switch that over to us, you write a case. As soon as that's placed, you can qualify for all those incentives. Plus, if it's one carrier, you're going to receive up to $100 of American Express gift card. 2 carriers is up to $250. 3 carriers is up to $400. Again, above and beyond the carrier commission that you're already going to be receiving. So a lot of great incentives to look at. Basically, you can qualify for every single one of those. Also, the annuity premium that you submit to the office also qualifies you for our annual Agent Expo. We have that every single year. Based on the amount of premium that you write, you can either qualify for a free night stay at the Beachfront Resort down here in South Florida. If you make it to the 2nd or 3rd level, that also includes airfare. So a lot of great ways to kind of get the perks and bonuses depending on what type of annuity business is written. In addition to that, I just want to show some screenshots of the Annuity Agent website. We've really built out the annuity section of the website to be extremely robust. We have a lot of great tools. We have a quote engine that I'm going to go over, a lot of great software you can use to present to clients, whether you're presenting a retirement income calculator or it's an IRA calculator. We have all the software available to be able to put together customized presentations for you. And here's a screenshot of where the basic information is. If you hover over the Marketing tab on CarrieLevinson.com, you can click on Levinson Annuity. Again, I want to stress Josh Hoffman is our annuity specialist in-house. He is at extension 23. Anything that you'll need when it comes up to annuity training, annuity products, Josh is the go-to person to be able to help you out. He's been in the industry for several years, specializing in annuities. Whatever the scenario is, Josh will have a solution for you. In addition to that, we have an annuity quote engine on the website. Underneath that quote tab, you can view all indexed annuities, single premium, fixed annuities. The best part about this quote engine is you can put in the state, you can put in the age of the client, you can sort by the base rate, by the bonus rate, by guarantee periods, any information that you want to see. You can actually sort by carrier rating. So all the information is in front of you in real time. All the rates are updated in real time, which just makes things so much easier because it's all at your fingertips. In addition to that, that software that I mentioned is actually through Insmark. This is available to every agent. As long as you're appointed with one carrier, you can actually receive a free version of the sales software. Normally it costs about $800 for the base version of that software platform. The thing I love about this software program is, again, you can create customized reports. So normally we have the illustration or the sales template that will run for a particular annuity product. This applies to both life insurance products as well. You can import all that information from the software and really put together a robust comparison for that client which is really going to separate you from the competition because you're going to be able to show them all the numbers that look very simple. They're very easy to explain. And a lot of agents have actually incorporated this software into their sales pitch. So it'll help you not only identify key strengths of different products, but also give you kind of the competitive edge when it comes to making a presentation to that client and kind of presenting something that is very, very simple for that client to understand.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Yeah, and like we spoke about earlier, any questions that comes up even after the call or on Monday or Tuesday of next week, please don't hesitate to call or email us about anything that we're talking about today or any potential clients that you would like to speak to. Okay, so today's presentation is Follow-Up Made Easy, and we have a special guest speaker, Kevin Riley, who is our annuity specialist from Genworth Financial, who's one of our core annuity carriers. So without further ado, we're going to introduce Kevin Riley. Kevin, you there?
I'm here. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank you, Bill. Thank you, Joseph, for your time. And thanks, everybody on the phone. First of all, if you've done business with Genworth, whether it's life, long-term care, annuities, we appreciate it. And thanks for taking time out of your business to work on your business this afternoon. I'm going to let you know right up front, I'm not here to talk about Genworth products. I'm here to talk about you and your book of business, and primarily three things. How do you identify clients for annuities? How do you start the conversation? And then how do you bring that conversation to fruition and create some sales? Both Bill and Joseph talked about some great opportunities for you on the annuity side and overall with Levison. So hopefully you can use some of this information today to help you in growing your business and your relationship with your clients. And I will tell you, believe it or not, using the strategies I'll talk about in the next 20 minutes, 100% of the meetings I've done this year, if people have walked away and tried this, they've sold an annuity. They might not have sold Genworth, but they've used these concepts and these ideas to identify people, start the conversation, get them interested, and get them in a better place than they might be right now. So basically it's based on a study that Genworth did. I'm going to talk a little bit about the unpredictable timing of retirement, which is real important to you and your clients. Some of the risks they face, the importance of developing a plan, but most importantly, some tips on approaching clients and presenting some solutions to them. And like I said, it's all based on the Future of Retirement Income research study that Genworth did. And what's important about this study is we talked to both financial professionals and consumers that both own these products and don't, that are pre-retired and retired, and mostly importantly to you, the 300 financial professionals who basically told us how they're prospecting to these. The bottom of this area is presented results represent statistically significant findings tested at between 95 and 90% confidence intervals. So the information in here, although this is a Genworth presentation, overall helps you with your book of business and annuities, but with a very high rate of probability that it works. And like I told you, where we've been doing it, it does work. But the first thing we had to look at is the unpredictability of retirement. You're doing a fantastic job with your clients. Everybody in the industry does when they build a plan for their client. And there's nothing better than planning and focusing on retirement, as you know, for your clients. But the fact of the matter is that retirement happens sooner than people expect. And you can see by this chart what we found in the study from pre-retiree to actual retirees. You know, 73% of the people tell you that they're retired when they expect to retire. Yet only about 48% actually do. The retirees will tell you. Most people will give you a 10-year time horizon regardless of their age. Think of that. If you talk to the people in their mid-40s, they'll say, I hope I'm done with this by my mid-50s. If you talk to somebody in their mid-50s, they say 65. 65, I'm out of here. If you talk to them in their early 50s or 50 years old, they'll say 60. But the fact of the matter is that 46% of people, about a half, retire sooner than expected, and it's usually within 6 years. The average retirement age is 61 years old, where most people will tell you they're going to retire when they're 65. So what happens when the 10-year plan becomes a 6-year plan? Are you building in enough flexibility for people? And some of your clients might be facing this. The most common things we run into are job downsizing, health issues of themselves or someone in their family where they have to leave the workforce, And number 3 is sometimes people just wake up and they just go, working 5 more years isn't going to do me any good. I'm going to get the same pension. I'm going to get the same amount of Social Security. Why don't I take the time now and spend it with my kids and start using this money? So what happens when they come back to your office and there is a retirement income gap? So their actual retirement is 4 or 5 years shorter than their planned retirement. And you're trying to tell them, hey, we have a 10-year plan here. We don't have a 6-year plan. And they say, well, we're turning it on in 6 years, not 10 years. And then what about life expectancy? What about a longer lifespan? Some people say, well, I'll probably live another 15 years. On average, you're going to live another 20 or 30 years. So you're compressing the amount of time that they're starting to take the income and then having to expand it out for a longer period of time. So there's an income gap on both ends. And when you look at retirement expenses, and we talk to retirees, and this is very important in this study, 54% of retirees expect their expenses to decrease, yet 64% will tell you they're spending more. And where are they spending it? Number 2, their health care. You talk to any retiree and they're going to tell you, 100% of the retirees I talk to tell you this, and they always say it, I never expected I was going to be spending that much on health care. It just is, even if you're healthy, as you age, you got blood pressure medication, you got cholesterol medications, you're going to the doctor more. Even healthy people are. Your body just starts breaking down. And they don't anticipate the amount of money that they're going to have to spend for health care, or whether their insurance will actually cover most of the stuff. And at the bottom there, 9% of people long-term care that expect it to increase. We know nobody issues more policies, pays more claims annually than Genworth. Long-term care is a tremendous issue to retirees. And what happens when I start living a longer lifetime and I have to come up with more money for not only health care, but my long-term care needs. So you can't rely on general rules of thumb anymore. And here, if you only remember one thing when you walk away from this today, other than the fact that it says Genworth down there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, it's this slide here, because these are the 4 people. I want you to go back to your book of business. I don't care if you're an annuity salesperson or not. If you have clients, you could be selling them annuities by focusing on these 4 people in your book of business. One is, and the risk that they face, too much cash in the sidelines. There's over $13 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. And people are saying, BlackRock did a study, went out and talked to people and said, you're earning 0.10% on money markets. You're earning 0.23% average on a 1-year CD. Why are you leaving your money on the sidelines? You're taking more and more money out of the market. You're taking more out of bond funds because you're worried about rising interest rates. You want to lock in those returns. Yet you're turning around and putting the money where it's not growing. The response back from the individuals was, nobody's telling us where to put it. So identify your clients that are sitting on the sidelines. They have too much cash because there's great inflation risk. If they're earning only 0.23% and inflation's running at 2%, they're losing money just on inflation, not to mention other things that are happening in their life. But you can identify those clients and show them that you have products available that won't put them in any worse of a situation than they're in right now. You'll make them just as much money with probably tremendous more upside, and Josh could walk you through the different companies and the different products to address those situations. Number 2 are significant traditional fixed income exposure. Nothing wrong with buying bonds, nothing wrong with bond funds, but if they have ridden a 20-year bull run in the bond market, they have a tremendous amount of profit built up. And as they're getting closer to retirement, do they want to lock in some of that product, some of that profit, and be able to allocate that money where they're still getting a reasonable upside, but no downside. You're protected on the downside. So if the market's going up, they're making a reasonable return. If the market's going down, they're not losing. All the returns are locked in. So you have interest rate and duration risk for those individuals in bonds. How about a need to lock in recent equity gains? And really, who falls into this category? Think of clients in your book that are 55 plus. They're closer to retirement, but they're 100% invested in the stock market. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I bet your mutual funds are performing really well. Whatever investments you put in are performing really well. It's not their investments, it's their life stage that they need to start taking a look at, and how much of that money do you sideline. Somebody's 58 years old, 100% invested in the market. Basic financial planning will tell you a good 50% of that money shouldn't be at risk because their time frame's getting too close to retirement. If the market has a downturn, they can't make it up. And if they do retire at 61 and they have an income gap there and they have a longevity risk, now they have even less money to start with. So where can you take those dollars and put it somewhere again? If the markets are going up, I can get you a reasonable rate of return. If they're going down, we locked in those returns. Not going to do any worse than where you're at right now, probably, if they're sitting on the sidelines. But how can I do better for you? And then the individual that doesn't have enough guaranteed income. Again, the money's at risk. How can you use these products to guarantee them a lifetime income stream? A lot of people ignore that or say, why would you buy an annuity? I can just take a systematic withdrawal. No matter how long you live, there's only one product that can guarantee you for that guaranteed income, that $10,000 a year you need to pay bills, the $20,000 a year you need to pay for, your long-term care or whatever it is. Where do you invest it? So look for people who are sitting on the sidelines. Don't worry about interest rates. What happens if they start to rise? How does it impact where I have money now if I'm in fixed income? Those that are getting close to retirement and over-invested in the market. And those that don't have enough guaranteed income. And a bonus one for you, those are 59 and a half and still working. Those individuals, you can, if they have a 401k, you can do an in-service withdrawal with them. Every client that you have, you say, if they're still working and they're 59 and a half or over, I would ask the individual, do you have a 401k? And always follow it up with, how's it performing with you? Where do you have your money invested? The majority of them are probably going to tell you, I have no idea. I know they take $200 out of my paycheck every couple of weeks. I got about $300,000 in there. And you can sit with those individuals and say, what if we can lock in some of those returns? And as you're looking at income or retirement in 4 or 5 years, how do I lock in some of that income for you, guarantee you a lifetime income stream? And where are the sources of income coming from? Retirees to pre-retirees. Retirees is the blue line, pre-retirees is the darker line. Of course, the pre-retirees, what are they telling you? Social Security, pension. So we get them, where is it actually coming from? Good portion from pensions, less from qualified retirement plans, less from Social Security, and we see a rise in fixed indexed annuities for those individuals. So they're looking at alternative sources. So 85% of clients, predictable income is critical in their visions of what they're looking at in retirement. So how can you talk to a client about, I can get you a predictable income stream? You say, well, we can get them predictable income streams now, but what is a safe withdrawal rate? The 4% rule, back in 1994, over 30-year retirement, 4% withdrawal rate, successful 100% of the time. Well, 95 to 99, market was up 20% a year. We hit 2000 to 2010. You say it's the lost decade. What happened? All of a sudden, oh, wait a second. By 2013, the 4% rule successful over a 30-year period just 50% of the time, 48.2% of the time. So 1 out of 2. 90% success likelihood with a 2.8% withdrawal rate, still a 10% error. So would you like to tell your client, we'll try to do this ourselves, but there's a 10% chance that you're going to run out of money. I can't guarantee your money's going to last as long as you live. So how do we lock in a guaranteed stream for you as we try to do our best based on your longevity to generate additional income for you? So let's make sure that that minimum amount of income you need is locked in. So 40% of people who would consider buying an annuity have never been presented with one. This is what the study showed. They want predictable income. They want a more predictable retirement. They want flexibility and access control of their dollars. There's products available to them out there, but 4 out of 10 people are saying, no one's ever talked to me about it. They've talked to me about 100 different things, but nobody's ever focused on where I'm at, what my needs are. So the message here is what we found in the research study is, let clients know you're in this business. You don't have to get into a product discussion right off the bat with them. But if you let them know you're in this business, I can protect your income. I can get you an income as long as you live, if that's what you're really worried about or interested in. You'll have people coming back to you, and a little bit later I'll show you some resources available to you to start that conversation. And with written plans, what's the success rate? Because a lot of we all know the old adage, people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they do their retirement. You're talking to these individuals every day. You're in the business. You know this. People, they're nervous about it. They don't know what direction to go in, which those comments I just made play into everything we just talked about. That BlackRock was talking to people and said, nobody's talking to us about where we should be putting the money. 40% of people that said they would buy an annuity said no one's ever discussed it with them. So the conversations aren't coming up as to what's the best thing for you as opposed to I have a product for you. There's tons of products out there, tons of companies, and Josh can put you in the ones that will best fit your need. But what we're seeing is the people that have a plan are more secure and do better in retirement than don't have a plan. You can't wing it nowadays. It's just too volatile. And people are looking for somebody to talk to. And when you look at annuities, 93% of annuities have a positive or neutral impression of them. The people that own the product already, 93% will tell you, I'm happy with it, versus 68% of non-owners who have a positive or neutral impression. The people that don't own the product are kind of unsure about it. Once people own one, or they know the people that do own them, very high success rate on people saying, I'm happy with it. It's doing what I thought it would do. It's giving me the comfort level that I should have in retirement. And what the system broke down is, what are some of the owner attributes? So the research revealed that an ideal candidate for an annuity has several traits in common. So we broke it down. We took 1,350 people. We talked to the top producers. And what were the 3 things that are key to them? What are the 3 things you should be bringing up in conversation? Well, they value the downside protection and the upside potential. I can get you a reasonable rate of return, higher than where you're at right now if you're sitting on the sidelines, with no downside risk. They have a pessimistic view of the market. So, and most people do since 2008. Now, if you think about it, if you would have been putting money in the market in 2008, 2009 after it hit bottom, you'd be sitting pretty well right now. But people still have a very negative view of the market and think they're going to lose money. But based on their life stage, for instance, I said the 58-year-old, closer to retirement, 100% invested, that individual should be thinking, what's going to happen if it works sideways on me? What happens if it goes down? How can I get that upside potential and have the downside protection? And Josh and the people at the Levinson agency have ways that they can help you and your clients. And they need a source of supplemental retirement income. Forget a pension and Social Security. They're happy with those. They're drawing some money off investments. But how do they supplement that income to fill that gap? What is the need that they have? How much more money do they need? How do they lock into that income? How can they have a guarantee that if they do live an extended lifetime, if they do live to be 105 years old, if they do live into their late 90s, that that check is being paid out? And what are the top professionals doing to expand their client base? So we've revealed some key strategies that the top sellers of these products are really focused on. And it's interesting, I'll show you where you can find the study, and although it's called a study, it's only about 9 pages to read, and there's a lot of pictures, so it's not a lot of information that you have to read to glean a lot of sales ideas from it and get information for yourself. But they altered the fixed index annuity value proposition. So they expanded it by including tax efficiency and tax deferral. Nobody's talking about that anymore. How tax efficient it is to get money out of an annuity. You have an exclusion ratio if you purchase that income stream. You also have upside potential, but you have tax deferral. You're only going to pay money on money coming out. How does that impact your Social Security? You know, how are you reporting income? Where is most of your money coming from? So they altered the proposition to make sure that people fully understand all the benefits that are available. They diversify their funding sources. So they include non-qualified sources such as CDs and bonds. They're not solely relying on annuities, but they're saying, hey, based on everything that you have available, where is your money best situated? They target a younger age group, actually. So they don't exclude 45 to 55-year-olds. They're not looking just for people in retirement, but they're looking at younger people to say, how can we use these if you have a negative view of the market, if you want something that's more secure, but you're looking for more upside potential without putting your money at risk. And that's one of the most important things that came out of this. The top producers aren't focusing just on the 60-plus group. They're expanding the people that they're talking to, and they're expanding how they're talking to them about these products. And they're expanding the risk tolerance. They're presenting annuities for upside potential, not just downside protection. They're saying if you're earning 0.23% right now, and I can offer you 5, think of the upside and the potential if we compound this over time and what I can do for you. So basically, the top producers are saying we're taking a little bit different approach, and it's working for us. How's it working for us? Look at the average amount of referrals high-volume sellers are compared to low-volume sellers. And again, what are these individuals talking about? Just who has the highest cap or the highest interest rate? They're talking about the full value of the product, and they're getting 5 times as many referrals from people because their clients are going out and saying, our professional talked to us, sat down and listened to us, talked to us about what we can be doing to better serve our needs. So think about situations where you have a product and I can earn a 10% commission on this product. It still can be a good product compared to a 3% commission that actually really meet the client's needs. The other one will do it, so-so. It might meet their needs, but the one that really will meet their needs isn't really worth my time. What if you got 5 times as many referrals? Wouldn't that make up? Instead of just looking at cap rates or comp on a product, but starting to approach it like the top sellers do and get more people in your office. And look at the difference in the contract values, the high-volume sellers compared to the lower-volume sellers. 38% of the contract values are $50,000 or above compared to 28 and 22% compared to 16, a full 6% more in the $200,000 range. Because they're expanding the conversation more with the client, identify those people in their book who are sitting on the sidelines, worried about rising interest rates, might have a 401k and they're over 59.5 or too close to retirement or over-invested in the market, talking to those individuals, show them the value of the product, and actually bringing more money in with those individuals. So if you identify those 4 groups in your book of business, you know how to get the conversation started. You're saying, I can do better than when you're sitting right now. I give you more upside potential. I give you tax efficiency, more tax deferral on your dollars. You know how to get the conversation started with them. Where do you go for resources, and what can assist you in starting that conversation? Well, one is our study, and this can be found on our website. This one here is a consumer piece. This you can give to your clients. And when I say give it to your clients, every client you have that you're talking to, if you're doing a long-term care policy, a life insurance policy, selling a mutual fund, a bond fund, CDs, whatever you're doing with that client, give them one of these brochures and simply say, this is something else I do in my business. It'll fully explain to them what we just went through in this, what are some of the things you're faced in retirement, and how can products like this help you. Doesn't get into any product features, doesn't get into the Genworth products, but it helps start the conversation with that client. Top producer, about 20 years ago, number 1, 2, or 3, very large broker-dealer, number 1, 2, or 3 seller of annuities consistently with that company. All he ever did was give those brochures like that to every single client. Just simply tell them, this is something else I do in my business, thought it might be of interest to you. If you have any questions, give me a call. Said every single week, 2 people were walking in his office and handing him checks. So it's a great way to market yourself without taking away from what you're doing full time. This here are the producer pieces. I highly recommend getting those and reading them. They're on our website at genworth.com/annuity sales center. It's the Future of Retirement Income Study, but it's only 9 pages long. I highly recommend reading it. Tons of information for you on ways you can focus your business and start those conversations. Again, it's not going to get into what Genworth is doing or what our products look like. Josh can help you with that, but how we can help you build your business. We have a Let's Talk campaign designed around annuities. The same thing. This is several different pieces that you can hand to a client that's designed around getting them to start the conversation. What should they be thinking about? What sort of questions should they be asking you? We have banner ads available if you have a website, pieces that you can co-brand and mail out to your clients, questionnaires. So several different campaigns to help start that conversation with your client. And then last but not least, we have a plan for living. And this is a simplified financial planning tool to kind of navigate the conversation and walk through the conversation with the client, or if you're doing a client seminar that helps you walk through with the client. But we give you tools in an Excel spreadsheet in different ways if you don't have them available to you to help you break down where is that income gap and how much money would be best fitted for the client in a product like this. So again, how do you identify the client? How do you start the conversation? And then where do you go for resources? Of course, Josh would be your first stop. You can go to our website. You can rely on people like myself, but we have all the tools and materials out there for you to identify these clients and get these conversations started. So as you move forward, what I hope you walk away with today is if you have a book of business, it doesn't matter if you're an annuity seller, if you're a life insurance, long-term care, med supp, mutual funds, whatever it is you're selling. If you have clients and they fit one of those 4 profiles, it would be worth your while to take an opportunity to just let them know you're in this business and you can help them earn more upside without putting their principal or any of their money at risk and protecting them on the downside, get them a reasonable rate of return and an income stream that will last them a lifetime. I'll be happy to take any questions, turn it back over to Bill and Joseph, but thanks for your time. I hope you got some good resources out of this today, some ideas of how to think about your book of business. And again, I've dealt with a number of different people in the last year. Everybody that took one of these concepts ended up selling an annuity or placing a client in a better place than where they were at right now. Thanks for your time, Dan. I'll turn it back over to you, Joseph.
Yeah, that was excellent, Kevin. Thank you very much. We actually have the line closed off because the number of attendees. But like I said, if anyone has any questions, just call us or email us, and we'll get all of those questions answered. That was a great presentation, so I really enjoyed that myself. We appreciate Kevin's time and, of course, most important, all of our agents' time. With that said, I just want to say have a